And we'll do it live. We'll do it live. All right. So today's topic is Trump and the Paedocrats. The Paedocrats. The Paedocrats in Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia, run by the Paedocrats. The Paedocrats who are tied to the Mossad. So I guess the type of government that we have in the United States of America in 2025 should be called a pedocracy. Pedocracy. That's the type of government that we have and have had as long as I've been alive, which is 1973. And I think before that, I think it's been that way for a long time. We've been ruled by what are called pedocrats. And I don't want to go into detail on the type of garbage that they do because you already understand who they are and what they do. But I thought it was quite one of the things that struck me today was I was watching a video by the mainstream media. It was MSNBC. And it was this dude, I can't remember his name. He's some Jewish guy on MSNBC. And he was going on about how the Epstein thing has blown up. And it's all because of the conspiracy theorists who pushed this. And what he was implying, this is MSNBC, is there was nothing to it the whole time. And that's why his broadcast never pushed all these conspiracy theories about Jeffrey Epstein because there's just nothing to it, man. And that's where they're taking you with this. That's where they're taking you. It is a pedocracy. It is a pedocracy. And when you get older and you actually just go back and you look at all of the stuff that you've witnessed growing up in the United States with Nickelodeon is a big one. And before that, there was a show called You Can't Do That on Television, which is that part of Nickelodeon or not? I can't remember. And I just remember watching the shows. You have to understand there was this type of degeneracy pushed on kids through the media. There was a real type of degeneracy. And also they pushed psychedelics on kids with H&R Puffin stuff and that whole genre of children's shows. So there was like this whole genre of children's shows in the 1970s, which was psychedelics. And into the 80s, it was about degeneracy. Like I don't want to spend the show describing what I'm talking about was called. It was called You Can't Do That on Television. That's where they got this idea of buckets of slime being poured on kids. Okay? And let's not talk about that too much because it's disgusting. But just go back and briefly look at what the kind of show was about. And you'll see it's like, this is for kids, right? They're pushing this degeneracy. Hi, thanks for watching. So I am quite disappointed in Donald Trump. And the thing that I'm really disappointed in him about is that he obviously has something to hide. And I've heard him talk about the Epstein stuff now here and there. Of course, we all heard the video of him saying, let's not talk about this anymore, which sounds really bad. But let's not talk about that. The other thing I've noticed him saying is that, well, there's stuff on those Epstein files and, it's not true and it could really damage people. Like, who's he talking about? He's talking about himself. He's talking about himself. He's in there, I believe. I believe he's talking about himself and he's embarrassed by it. And then he doesn't want to have to go through this whole thing of explaining all this stuff. Well, he's going to have to explain it because, frankly, we're not going back. We're not going back into that. We're not going to go back into being ruled by pedocrats. I wonder if I can find this video for you of I'm going to just type in the YouTube Trump and Epstein and Pam Bondi and see if I can get this thing that they're talking about on the news recently on MSNBC. I can't remember the name of this guy, but MSNBC. Is this it?
Sure. Your memo and release yesterday.
No, that's not it. So anyway, can't remember the name of this guy. He's one of these guys on. Oh, it's this idiot right here. Ari Melber. I mean, talk about an Israeli name. Okay, now that's fine. I don't want to talk shit about Israelis. Okay, my problem is Paedocrats. My problem is what I've been telling you. But here is this. Listen to this guy.
You know, the breaking news animation. You know, sometimes the news is big, significant, serious. This one is unusual. A major escalation in what is increasingly a kind of political, quiet, peaceful civil war, but a civil war of political proportions for MAGA over these Epstein files. And it's roiling the Trump administration at quite literally the highest levels. Sources detail.
Now, he's going through all this bullshit. Okay. But listen to his implication. His implication is, we over here at MSNBC, we didn't ask any tough questions, and we don't believe all those theories. See, they want to bring you back into the pedocrats, back into the pedocracy. Listen, watch.
Failing the ongoing clash over a fight that could cost someone their job. Trump's Attorney General Pam Bondi clashing with the FBI number 2 official Dan Bongino. As everybody who follows these kind of stories knows, technically the AG oversees the FBI, but if you remember Comey or
dude, shut! I almost want to smash this bottle over his head, but he's on television, so I can't. Okay, let's just skip ahead a little. I want you to hear this part.
And Donald Trump's #1 person who tracks all this stuff and makes the big staffing decisions, Susie Wiles, the chief of staff.
Okay,
Small meeting is leaking this stuff to Axios. If it's true, a source close to Bongino saying he ain't coming back. Out of control furious is the other quote. This destroyed his career. He's threatening to quit and torch Pam unless she's fired, said someone who, again, according to that reporting, spoke with Bongino. By the way, hire podcasters and right-wing media figures to run major parts of the government, and you may find...
see where he's going? See where Ari, the Israeli, is going with this? This is, okay, we need separate governments. That's what I've been saying this whole time. You don't want me to repeat all that, do you? We need our own government. We need our own government. We're the Americans. These people can just fuck off. The Paedocrats can just fuck off. Okay? And this other country, I'm sure there's fine people who live there in Israel. I'm sure they're fine people. They can also leave me the fuck alone. Okay? That's what I want. I want them to leave me alone. I want Ari to leave me alone. Just go away. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Major parts of the government are being leaked on and run like another piece of podcast content. I'll come back to how some of this does swirl around MAGA content. Other parts of it, of course, are serious when you think about the victims in the original Epstein case. All of this, though, occurred because the DOJ has fallen short of the pledges that people around Trump...
See how he's framing this? It's called framing. He's framing the argument. He's framing the argument. As if this is just a bunch of conspiracies by Dan Bongino and Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson and all this other. No, it's not. And the fact of the matter is, not only do I support, I can't say, for people that intentionally harm children, but I also support harming their supporters and the cover-uppers and the people that are complicit in the operation. It's not just Jeffrey Epstein, and it's not just the politicians or media people that did the crime. It's you, Ari. It's MSNBC. It's you. See, you're just as guilty. And if it were up to me, whatever punishment, and I can think of a lot of them that are very painful, that it would be dealt out to a knowing, someone who knowingly carries out sexual assaults on children, the same type of punishment would be meted out to you, Ari Melber. Now, is Trump involved in this stuff? Maybe. But so what Trump needs to do, if he is he needs to put himself, he needs to put us, actually, the American people, above his own ego, and just say he needs to come clean, or he never need, or I don't want to hear from him again. Now the sad thing is, there's other stuff I was hoping he could get done on the border with the immigration. Is he even going to do that stuff? Who knows? He's so wrapped up in what Benjamin Netanyahu wants and all these Israeli operatives and this whole blackmail network. It's like, what is he going to get done for us? What did he do last time? He allowed them to run those shots on us, right? He allowed them to run those shots on us that damaged the economy and then killed like millions of people. So he's kind of a liability, this Trump guy. And yeah, he's better than Kamala, which doesn't say much, does it? Hey, Trump, you're better than Kamala. You're better than Kamala Harris, Trump. That's where I put you. You're better than Kamala Harris. Okay. You're better than Joe Biden, Trump. Wow. That's amazing. That's huge. Being better than somebody who wears a diaper. I'm sorry, who knows? I couldn't have been that. Who knows? Let's not talk about that. He's old. Okay, let's not bash old people. Okay. Kamala Harris is not old. I can't say the R word because this is YouTube. But hey, Trump, you're better than Kamala Harris. I picked you over Kamala Harris. And what's his name? The Waltz character. That's not good enough. Is that really good enough? So here's the thing. What Trump needs to do, I don't know. This doesn't have to be a long video. What else can I say? I think you folks understand what's going on. Trump has some connection to this stuff. And I don't know what he did. Maybe he didn't do anything. Maybe he's innocent, or maybe he's not. Maybe he's guilty. But whether he's innocent or guilty, he needs to come totally clean. They want to just bring us back into, hey, guys, there was nothing that, like, literally, they're trying to say that there was nothing there and Jeffrey Epstein's dead, so the case is closed. It's not closed. It's not closed, and it'll never be closed. It'll never be closed until there's justice. Until there's justice. See, the case doesn't get closed till there's justice. And notice how that the crime that you're committing is having a memory. See, that's your crime. Your crime is that you remember things. See, that's the problem. Why are you talking about this? It was so long ago. Well, because we haven't gotten justice, have we? See, why are you still talking about this? Well, because you have a memory. See, that's Trump's problem. Trump's problem is that you have a memory. Pam Bondi's problem is that you have a memory. The person who is showing the most integrity right now is Dan Bongino. So good for Dan Bongino. So this is a line in the sand. You can never, under any circumstances, support a government that's run by pedophiles. Okay, you just can't do that. You just can't do that, bro. Sorry, line in the sand. And then you think, well, what about the Chinese and what about these other governments? We don't want them to come. Okay, good. So let's form a military. I mean, I'm on here every day saying it. I'm on here every day saying, let's form a government. Let's form a military. We'll just take over the military then. Because this is bullshit, man. I'm not going to be run by pedophiles. Sorry. So you're like, but Brian, if we don't let the pedophiles run everything, then the Chinese will come to power. Well, then let's have a military. Let's have our own military run by our people. Because this thing is over. You need to get that through your head. Unless you're like, maybe you're making a lot of money and you're just happy with the way things are. There's people like that. There are some people that are making so much money that they're willing to look past being run by a pedophile network because, hey, the stock market's up. The stock market's up. So it's okay, well, it's just pedophilia. The stock market's up. Fuck you, man. Oh my God, dude. You're gonna get effed up. I don't want to use bad words. Nobody wants to sit and listen to me use bad words, so I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying, you're going to get effed up. You're going to get hurt. So, I don't have much more to say. If you guys want to chime in, do so. What do you think about all this Trump business? Here's what I'm saying. Number one, there's no way I'm going. So Trump capitulates to pedophiles. Okay, that's but she's better than Kamala. Yeah, you're right. Can you imagine your resume? I was better than Kamala. I beat Kamala Harris. Oh my God. Can you imagine your resume? I beat Kamala Harris. She was drunk and I beat her. She was so stupid. Oh, wow, man. Good for you. Good job, bro. You're amazing. You know, there was a time where Trump really had something special. It was in his first run before he got elected. Before he got elected, there was some energy there. That energy, I watched that energy get sapped away. It was by these people, it's by this pedophile network. And so, hey, the last thing I'll tell you, Jeffrey Epstein's portrait should be hung in all of the federal buildings in the United States, not just under Trump, but under the next presidency too. They got to take down Trump's portrait and put up Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein is the real president of America. Jeffrey Epstein is the emperor of America and Europe, and they're controlled by Jeffrey Epstein. And the media, all these, you've got MSNBC and Fox News, they haven't done any real deep dives on any of this stuff. It's all superficial. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse. You guys already know what's going on. But so the danger is here's the danger. The danger is, hey man, if we don't stick with this whole Epstein blackmail pedocracy that runs everything, then our military will be in disorder, and then we'll have to deal with China. Okay, so that's what we need to face. That's the thing we have to face. We have to face this problem called our government's run by pedophiles, and they're in charge of the military. So we got to replace that. We have to replace that with a new government. Of course, you know what I've been pushing the whole time, and I'm not going to beat a dead horse on that either, because not everybody wants to hear that all the time. But what I'm saying is that's the thing we have to confront. We're not going to have a pedocracy. And we're going to have to get in charge of all the nuclear and biological weapons that the Pentagon has, and use them, and not use them, but do something to protect our own people, because we can't have a pedocracy. Sorry, not going to have a pedocracy. I'd rather anyway. You don't want to hear me go on about that. I'll just call it quits. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening.